Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Coach JB, and I'm here today because we're going to be going over high school recruiting, and we're going to be going over why it is still important. And we actually have something here. Let me go live on TikTok real. Um, Here we go. Okay. All right, what's up, everybody? It is Sean Johnson-Bey here, also known as Coach JB. And I saw this article that was really cool because it shows the importance of high school recruiting and why it still matters. And I'm really excited to just go over why high school recruiting still matters. And this one's going to go over specifically college football. However, this can be applicable to essentially all sports. All right. And so this article talks about, does high school recruiting still matter in college football? And coaches say, and the data shows that it is still really important. So given the transfer portal, we know that a lot of colleges are just picking from the transfer portal. We know that. And it has been a struggle in some cases for colleges to, or we think that it's been a struggle for colleges to go outside of the transfer portal back to high schools where there actually is recruiting. And so this article kind of highlights, hey, coaches still want to get high school players. Coaches still want to go to high schools to get players. Okay. So we know the whole Lane Kiffin saga right now. If you're not familiar with what's going on with Lane Kiffin, pretty much he transferred from Ole Miss to the University of LSU. And in this, they kind of talk about his time at Ole Miss and kind of what he prioritizes. And so it says, during his time at Ole Miss, head coach Lane Kiffin proclaimed himself to be the portal king. And as transfer restrictions and rules around paying players loosened as the start of the decade, the Rebels stocked up on impactful transfers who have played a key role in the team's historic run of 3 consecutive 10-win seasons. But even in an age of transient rosters and rapid movement, college football coaches still largely believe that championship teams are built through high school recruiting. Okay. And it kind of talks about how, even with the transfer portal, that being a high school recruit is going to be important in building a good program. So I just wanted to show this real quick to give, people hope out there like, hey, I know that, right now, people are worried about the scholarships out there because the transfer portal, but just know that their high school or college coaches are still looking for high school players. So look at the starters by transfers at these like top universities in football. So you have Georgia at 9.6%. You have Notre Dame at 15.5%. But then look at the starts by recruits. It's staggering. You have 90.4% starts by recruits. If you look at Texas, 83% are starts by recruits and 17.0% are starts by transfers, which shows you like, hey, these coaches are still trying to get high school kids to come to their programs because at the end of the day, they want to develop those kids, and that's going to give them the best chance of winning. So like I said, it is right now, it seems as if, all the transfers are taking all the spots, but we can see through the data here that a big percentage is still through actual recruits. And so these are top programs. And so it says Texas A&M general manager Derek Miller, when discussing earlier this year how the Aggies try to build their roster, said recruiting is still top priority. Okay, we are getting better and better because we pour into the development. It's not just a cycle of a quick fix. Get the best players, send them to the draft. Miller said in September, "I firmly believe that recruiting and development is how you build a great team. It's continuity and being able to play fast." All right. So this data, I just want to kind of show this data because this is kind of showing, how important high school recruiting is. So what's going on, chat? I'm Sean Johnson-Bey, or Coach JB, and I'm the founder of Coached Up. And right now I'm just going over, how important high school recruiting still is. Go ahead and follow if you're not following. I'll be going live more often, so that way I can provide some more information to you. And this is just some data to support how important it is, how important high school recruiting still is. Now, are you guys able to hear me? Are you guys able to hear me okay? Just let me know in the chat if you're able to hear me okay. This is my first time going live here. Okay, cool deal. All right, so look at the roster construction in 2024. Okay, the 2024 college football playoff. And I actually went to the game. I went to the Texas versus Clemson game. And you can see 100% were started by recruits. 100% is a lot. Okay, so just know that these college coaches still wants recruits versus starts by transfers. So if you're a high school athlete and right now you're not being recruited or you're wishing to be recruited, there are multiple avenues that you can go. Okay, you can go to the junior college level to continue to play. You can walk on somewhere, but I always encourage all my athletes, just never give up, always keep playing, so that way you can give yourself the best chance at earning a scholarship, later down the road. Okay. Now, I also wanted to go to, let me see, the NCAA website here that I think is really underutilized. So let me go to the NCAA directory. And I just wanted to show you guys this because this is going to be like super important, what's called the NCAA directory. So let me see if I can move this around. There we go. All right, so this is the NCAA directory, okay? So the NCAA directory is going to be a place where you can find institutions. Now, you might already know this, but I think it's important because a lot of people just don't use it enough. I was talking to some girls golfers and girl swimmers, and they had no idea what this was, because we were talking about what schools they should go to or what schools do they want to go to. And I told them about the NCAA directory to have them make a target list of schools, and they had no idea what this is. So this is the NCAA directory. So if you go to Google and type in NCAA directory, then it will pop you up this will pop up. And what this is pretty much just a search for all of the Division I, Division II, Division III NCAA schools across the country. So what I always tell people is you want to make a list of schools you want to attend. So if you're a high school athlete, go ahead and put in the chat if you are a high school athlete and what sports you play. So that way I can kind of see who's joined and see what sports they play. But what you need to use here is to help you make a list of schools you want to attend. And I always talk with athletes and they're like, okay, I know what schools I want to go to. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to Texas A&M. I want to go to Oregon. But it's really, really, it needs to be a list that you can go to repeatedly. So whether it's in your notes app or it's in somewhere, you list it down somewhere, exactly where you want to go. So the NCAA directory is going to give you divisions. So you'll be able to click Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. You'll be able to go to all of the states. So here are all of the states right here. And then you could pick whatever sport. So then you can have essentially your sports and kind of go from there. All right. Now, say if you were looking in California and you played, they have all the sports. So let's go to women's golf, for example, and you wanted to play Division I for women's golf. You go to view institutions, and here are all the institutions that have Division I women's golf, which is fantastic because you want to be able to see what programs are available to you. And there's a lot of colleges that you might not know where they're at. So it's also good to see where these colleges are at as well. Okay, so say I wanted to check out California Baptist University. I'll go ahead and go to California Baptist University, as you can see here. And then on the side, it also has their institution links. It has the athletic links that you can go to. So that way you can go to those websites. All right. So this is the NCAA directory. So if you are an athlete, you got to check this out because this is going to be so important. And then it takes you directly to the website. It takes you directly there. And that's going to be great because then you'll be able to, search the rosters. You'll be able to look at the coaches. You'll be able to do a bunch of different things. So that way you can check out the programs. So let's go ahead and go to sports, and let's go ahead and go to women's golf again. So we're already at women's golf. And then boom. All right. It'll go to the golf program. You'll be able to check out all the golfers, where they're from. It looks like they do a lot of international. Recruiting, it looks like. Oh, shout out to Fresno. I'm from Fresno, California. Shout out to Lisa. And then you'll get a bio on the people as well. Okay, so once again, use this NCAA directory to your advantage. You'll go to Google, and all you got to do is type in NCAA directory to see every single university across the country. All right, so if I wanted to check out some D2 football programs in Ohio, I'll just go ahead and go to D2. I'll go to Ohio, I'll press football, and then I'll go to view institutions. And then once I view the institutions, boom, I can see all of the programs here. I have Ashland University, Central State University, Ohio Dominican University, Tiffin University, University of Findlay, and Walsh University. So these are all the Division IIs for football. So I can go ahead and click one of these, and it takes me here. Okay. And you'll be able to kind of research, and then it goes to the page, to their actual page. All right. So that's going to be something that you can just check out on your free time. So number one, you want to go ahead and make you a target list. That we say, make a target list of schools that you want to go to, and then go ahead and research those schools as well. All right. Austin, what's up, Austin? So here, let's just go to recruits, and on the actual recruiting page, or on these pages, on the colleges, you'll be able to see recruits on there. And so when you see recruits, you can then kind of check it out. So you can go to the staff directory here. And as you know, the staff directory is going to be where you can check out all of the staff across the whole institution. You'll be able to go to the coaches and then check out some of the coaches. So let's check out one of the coaches here actually and see what's up. So let's go. I'll just go football here. So we have the head coach, Doug Geiser, and here you'll have some information about Doug. You'll be able to go through, kind of his record or his resume as a coach. You'll be able to go through it and kind of get a glimpse of who Coach Geyser is. Okay, so that's going to be really important as you're doing as you're going through your college recruiting process, because you want to know who these coaches are. You want to know, where they come from, how long they've been there. It's good to get as much information as possible when you are looking into a school, because once you go to that school, you're going to have to commit there for a year. And so if you go into it blind or you haven't done your research, then a lot of things are going to surprise you when you get on campus, and you don't want that. All right. I always see so many athletes, they'll quickly commit to a school, or they haven't done all their research yet, and they end up, having to transfer, or a lot of things come by surprise because they just haven't done their research. And so make sure you're doing all the research you can on these coaches, on the programs, so that way you can get as much information as possible. Okay. Now, I also wanted to go ahead and go to the NCAA website real quick. The NCAA website here, because I feel like it's really underutilized. Like, I'll talk with so many athletes and I'll ask them, like, hey, have you been on the NCAA website before? And they'll tell me no. And I think it's just wise to just go on the website just to check out some things that you might not know. Even if you just go around and you just look and you just learn, that's okay too. But at the end of the day, your full-time job as an athlete is to not only perform, but you also got to help yourself in your recruiting. Okay. All right. So I always start with student athletes, and then you can go to recruiting here, and it's going to give you some general information about recruiting. All right. You can see the different contact periods. You can go through some of the resources here. You can see the differences between an official and unofficial visit. But I just encourage all athletes just to kind of go through this with yourself, with your parents, just to kind of get more information about exactly what it takes to be an NCAA athlete. Because the more you learn and you invest in yourself and you put that energy into your recruiting, it's going to help you. You're going to think about it more. You're going to put yourself out there more. You're going to post your highlights. You're going to do more things to kind of help with your recruiting. So once again, I encourage everyone to go to the NCAA website and just look around at some FAQs. Like, I know some athletes that, for example, they don't know the difference between an official visit and an unofficial visit. And it'll tell you right here on the website the differences between what's an official visit. And an official visit is going to be when the university pays versus an unofficial visit. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show you this as a tool. Make sure that you're going to the website, you're looking, and you're doing as much as you can for your recruiting. Now, you'll have coaches in your corner. Hopefully, not everyone will have coaches in their corner, but hopefully you have someone that can help you with your recruiting, either making your highlights or giving you your film, or reaching out to coaches on your behalf if you're lucky enough. But there's also things that you can do yourself to help yourself out. And so that's the point of Coached Up, is what can you do on your own to help with your recruiting, because you might be in a situation where, you're not getting any help. Okay. So I actually wanted to go back real quick to this graphic, and this news about high school recruiting still mattering. Okay. So like I said, this is for football, and it's going to vary by sport, but this graph just kind of shows you, how many programs still value getting high school athletes, nurturing them through the process, and hopefully they stay. They may transfer, but you can see here, starts by recruits and starts by transfers, just the difference. So just like Lane Kiffin said, and these other college coaches, they still rather get the high school athlete than to get a bunch of people from the transfer portal. And I hope that these numbers continue to stay high, because I think it's important for high school athletes to be recruited for so many different reasons. Okay. So those are a couple of the things that I wanted to show today was this. And I also found some other news here. Let me try to find it here. Oh, shout out to anyone who signed too, because I know signing day just passed. And so shout out to anybody that did just sign. But there was one more piece of news that I wanted to go through, if I can find it here. If not, then I think I might have lost it. Let me see. I think I might have lost the page. But there was another page that went into more information about essentially why why recruiting in high school is still important to coaches. And so I know that a lot of high school athletes are like, dang, man, there's not a lot of coaches recruiting right now because they're going in the transfer portal, which is true. But there is data to show that they still value and care about high school recruiting. Okay, so that is all for today. I wanted to show you that, and also the NCAA directory. Remember to utilize that, and also just go through the NCAA website and make sure that you're like browsing it. You're doing what you can, so that way you can learn more about recruiting. All right, well, I'm going to start going live here more. This is the first time going live. It's a lot of fun. Got the equipment set up and everything. And if any athletes have any questions, please put in the chat, follow, and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.